Hello everyone, I hope that you are doing fine. Today I'm here with another topic. Today I would like to talk about an important skill in relationships. You know, how you attach to other people and function in your relationships say a lot about the way you feel about yourself and also the core beliefs you have subconsciously developed throughout your life and how things should work in interpersonal communication. One of the destructive core beliefs which impacts your approaches and behaviors towards other people in a negative way is the one saying that you must be perfect and flawless or in a certain way to be loved or liked by other people. And this one is a learned trauma response originating from your childhood when you felt insecure being yourself and showing authenticity. So if you resonate with this one, most probably you use anxious attachment strategies. And a common cognitive distortion that people with anxious attachment strategies have developed is that as long as people like me and there is no sign that somebody dislikes me, hates me, or wants to criticize me, then it means that I will be safe. So please pay attention to this one. Such a bias says that I'm not safe if people don't like me. And this is the bias which is based on previous emotional experiences where your sense of safety was interrupted or invaded at the same time you try to be authentic or be yourself. Then your mind most probably built a schema according to other people, for example, your parents' expectations and preferred values. And so you learn to relate to this schema when you think about yourself and feel your feelings. And this schema is not necessarily representative of you as a person, but a reflection of induced values and expectations of how you must be to be liked and loved by other people. So there is a difference, there is a distance between who you actually are, your authentic self, and who you were supposed to be, or the learned character, which is actually an internalized version of who you were supposed to be in order to be liked and accepted by your culture, by your society, by your family. Then now, in adulthood, your nervous system will function in a similar way. And in an unconscious way, it will be constantly scanning your relational spaces all the time to check out if you're receiving the energy and attention you're supposed to receive because of using that unconscious template of your mind. Or that if you're in danger, as there is signs of threat or signal of insecurity in the faces or body gestures of other people in relation to you, which says that you're taking distance from your internalized schema and are closer to your authentic self-image. So other people's liking and positive approaches toward you and confirmations will be an insurance for your nervous system that everything is fine now, you're safe, and it will going on well now, and that you're not in danger and have no need to be concerned now, at least for a short while. But as you can imagine, this will be very difficult and restricting situation for you, and will create a lot of limitations, especially when it comes to your capacity to be authentic and feeling safe when being with your partner or in your close relationships in general, because then you're not able enough to provide and feel emotional safety, which is an absolute requirement for your relationship. We are living in a relative world. Everything about relationships is relative. We are imperfect creatures and need to establish a balance in our interpersonal spaces where flaws, defenses, and disagreements together with mutualities and common qualities can coexist. If we do not dare to show and acknowledge our incompatibility or flaws in one area and do not feel safe enough when connecting our two feelings in relation to specific situations, we are living a very reduced version of ourselves, right? We can still be liked even if we are not perfect or good enough in other person's eyes, or that we can also like other people if they are imperfect to us or there is something, off, or something in them that really does not match our values or whatsoever, that makes it difficult for us to see that specific dimension of their personality as something really likable. And of course, if that specific thing is something bad generally, which is absolutely awkward, abusive, or harmful or negative to all people, and that is a common sense to dislike it, then you're right for wanting to limit your contact with that person, for example, or dislike them. But I'm talking about our ability to see the whole thing and liking people overally, like their total representation as a human being, right? This is a skill which is about being able to differentiate between conflictful aspects in a whole thing, and according to research, those with higher emotional maturity are good at this one, because such a skill shows your capacity to maintain a sense of authentic self while you hold yourself emotionally connected to other person. And this is exactly where you maintain a balance. You build up a bridge between your authentic imperfection, who is safe and determined inside, and also your partner, regardless of him or her being in agreement with you or not, being perfect or not. And this double focus enables the balance between holding individuality and also the need for being connected to other person. And so when you have no fear to lose connection with other person, it means that you have the emotional differentiation skill, and you are most likely a secure attached person, because perhaps during your childhood you did not need to develop a schema of your optimal image which was acceptable for your family culture, and you felt safe, for example, for expressing anger or big emotions without feeling need to shutting them down, and that there was always presented a constructive way for conflict resolution in your family dynamics. So this is a skill which developed through years, and by experiencing that, there is no problem to tolerate big unpleasant emotions when they come out. So all such experiences, good boundary setting skills and emotional regulation practices contribute to developing of this skill. The two core aspects of such skills are then connectedness and attachment, and autonomy and separation. So these two can be defined across two opposites poles. If you are an dismissive, avoidant, attached person, you would rather be yourself, and your freedom and feeling of autonomy becomes so essential for you, and you are more drawn to one pole, which is autonomy. But if you have got a lot of anxious attachment strategies, then you tend to move toward the opposite pole, where you will exclusively find safety in being attached to your partner. So although people behind both of these profiles crave connection and intimacy, they function differently because they lack a relative relationship with these polarities. So the process of psychologically and emotionally differentiating and growing out from attachment to our close ones is a substantial stage of development of emotional maturity. That is why enmeshment and emotional invasion and violating each other's boundaries are among toxic dynamics, which makes our ability to developing emotional differentiation and regulation skills limited, unfortunately. So the important point here is that you have to be connected to yourself and your thoughts and your values, your feelings at the first place before you connect to other person. It means that departing from this embodied safety within you, you will be able to connect successfully to other person and see them through a whole overall lens, like in a relative way, because you are taking care of both of these polarities then. Therefore, you will not need to seek reassurances from other people to check out if you are functioning good enough or not. You're connected to yourself, you're authentic, and there will be no need to get reassurances and confirmations from other people all the time. So it is actually sad that many of us are afraid of being imperfect and not compatible with other people's rest of the group sometimes, because we may associate being authentic with risk of disconnection and rejection. But this is not actually true. The problem is that you are not connected to yourself and you lack sense of safety inside you. And that is why confirmation becomes a tool to fill this deep disconnection gap temporarily. So healing starts with, developing a place inside you, and then you can see this, galaxy of feelings and values and boundaries within you that you're bearing in your inner world, and not by just eliminating your tiny, confirmation seeking attempts in a shallow way. I hope that this piece of reflection has given you a new insight. Please share this message with a friend and stay connected. Thank you.